It's pretty bad when a Dyson employee at the repair center tells you you should just go for the cheapo non-Dyson product because these aren't made well. Hello friends! I'm back with a kind of different video than normal today. If you're new here, normally I'm doing like an Hermes unboxing or a come VIP shopping with me at Louis Vuitton, but we're not too far off. I would say Dyson products are touted as being luxurious. The price point is certainly luxurious. I would say a $600 hairdryer versus the $30 one you can get on Amazon is quite the difference. And so today I want to talk to you about my less than stellar customer service experience. I have a ton of Dyson products at the house. I've got 2 cordless vacuums, the air wrap, the cordless straightener, and the product in question, the PH01 humidifier, air purifier, and cooling fan. Before I get into the nitty gritty, this is not meant to be like a smear campaign against Dyson. I love their products. It just sort of feels like to me after this experience, I owe it to my viewers and subscribers to give you all a heads up. Like, it's luxurious on the front end and not so luxurious on the back end. As soon as something breaks down, prepare to spend hours trying to troubleshoot with no result in sight. Disclaimer that this is my experience. These are my opinions. Will I still be using my air wrap after I make this video? Sure, but will I buy any more Dyson products after this? I don't know. A lot of that will be based on if you all have had similar experiences. So if you have been disappointed by Dyson customer service and would like to commiserate, or you're curious about what happened to me, please continue listening and go get a snack or a beverage because it's story time. I'm making this video because I bet a lot of you all have some of their products as well, and a lot of my channel centers around me telling you my customer experience. Okay, so I've had the Dyson purifier humidifier fan that's called, I think, the PH01 in white since 2 years and 8 months ago, essentially. I got it because my other doggy, not the one that is sitting on my lap currently, he has like a reverse sneezing issue, and when the weather gets super dry in California, or I have the heater on, or I have the AC on, his throat gets dry and so he'll reverse sneeze at night. So the vet recommended that I get a humidifier. I did a ton of research. It seemed like, you know, I already have a bunch of Dyson products. This seemed like a good choice. So I purchased my PH01, I want to say for $800 at the time. I think they're retailing for about a similar price point now. It worked great. And then I would say probably 3 months ago, it started having issues where, you know, you slide in the bottom tray with the water, and it works with an app, and I'll insert like some screenshots here of how like the app looks. It's pretty cool. It'll tell you, okay, the water tray at the bottom of it is empty. You need to refill it in order for it to start working. It also prompts you to clean the device, to wash out the filter. If any of you have like an espresso machine and how it comes with like the packets to like sort of soak and like deep clean, de-lime, descale, I think is what it's called, to descale the machine, like that's essentially what it would prompt you to do every few months. I brought it into the house, set it down in my bedroom, and it has never moved. I feel like this is an important point for the story. So anyway, cut to 2 years and 6 months in. The warranty has expired at 2 years. At 6 months, it stops being able to recognize the tray that goes in. So I'm like, okay, this is a problem. I try to troubleshoot. I go on the website, do all of the like things that it prompts you to do before you need to talk to a human. I get on with their troubleshooting personal call service. You can like essentially call through the app, which is awesome. And again, I expect a certain level of customer service for the price point of devices that Dyson is putting out. So after troubleshooting on the phone, which was essentially like the most basic things of like clean the sensor on the bottom of the machine, do a hard reset, nothing worked. So they're like, okay, miss, you are out of your warranty, so we're gonna need you to purchase a new water tray, and that should fix your issue. The new water tray was $120, and that was after I negotiated a 20% off coupon with the customer service sales representative. So it took probably like 2.5 weeks to ship to me, and then I follow all the directions, insert the new water tray into the machine, same problem. It doesn't recognize the water tray, which means the whole entire machine is rendered useless. If you don't have water in the well and it doesn't register that there's even something like in the, like the tray isn't inserted, the fan won't work, the purifier doesn't work. So, and obviously the humidifier doesn't work because it can't connect to the water. So it is completely useless. I get back on customer service and they tell me, okay, you have to send back the part that didn't fix your problem. Keep in mind, it's like wet, right? Like I had to fill it up to try to get it to work. So I'm sending back this like wet filter product, which was not ideal, but it went back okay and they processed my return. In addition to all of that, they tell me, okay, now because this is like out of the scope of us being able to just mail you a new part, we need you to go to your nearest Dyson service center, which is a good 45 to 50 minute drive away from me. I am lucky that there is one nearby, so let's count our blessings there. They tell me you can't make an appointment, it's walk-in only, and they send me the link to where I need to go. So I haul this giant machine up to the valley and I get to this tiny showroom. It appears as though you can like buy Dyson products there too. I took a selfie in front of the place. I will insert that here. There's only 2 parking spots for the entire place. Both are full. It's in this like weird complex, so I can't, it was tough trying to find a place to park, and then I have to haul this giant machine in. There is one gentleman working at the Dyson service center. One. And it is packed. Everyone has problems, which is not a great sign. I mean, I imagine the volume that they sell, like people are always gonna have customer service requests, but never a great sign when your repair center is just booming. So I wait for about 40 minutes before the gentleman can even check me in. And when I tell you I have empathy for this man, because people were coming in left, right, and center, and he's just taking hits from all sides. So I tell him, hey, I'm just gonna drop the machine off. I'm not gonna wait for you to like diagnose or fix it. Like I'll come back, you know, take your time. So about a week goes by. Keep in mind, Dyson says it will be like 3 to 5 days typically for you to receive a response. And he calls me and he says, it's the same guy who was in there the day that I came in. And he tells me he tried all of the different diagnostics, tried replacing 2 different parts, it didn't work. The one part that it has been diagnosed isn't working is irreparable. So, friends, my $800 machine that is not even 3 years old rendered completely useless. And so I ask him like, hey, what does Dyson typically do for this? And he's like, well, typically they'll give you a 20% off coupon so you can repurchase. And I'm like, excuse me? And you think I'm gonna buy another one? And here's my thing. I understand how limited warranties work, right? I get it. 2 years, then you have to start paying to replace things. But what I don't think that should happen after not even 3 years of use is that the entire product becomes useless. So the gentleman at the service center says he can't assist me with like reordering or anything. I have to call the main customer service hotline. So I call and talk to someone. They tell me, okay, like we're gonna have to pass you to another person. I do the ping pong for a while. I'm probably on the phone for 40 minutes. And then they tell me, oh my gosh, we can't actually do anything for you right now because the service center hasn't put in their notes. Essentially, they couldn't offer me anything until there is proof that the machine is useless. And because the service center didn't put in their notes, I have no proof. And so I asked them, are you able to call and verify with the service center? No, ma'am, we can't call the service center. Okay, can you transfer me to the service center? Sure. So they transfer me to the service center. I talked to the gentleman. He is having some sort of issue with his system where it's not saving my notes. He finally gets that squared away. And then I ask him, can you transfer me back to customer service? No, he can't do that. So I call back, have to wait on hold again, finally get to chat with someone. They say they have to create a ticket to see if anything can be done because this device was rendered useless, and that they will email me. I wait for 2 weeks and I receive no email. I call back. I have a reference number. The reference number doesn't bring anything up. So here I am, starting back at square one, having to re-explain my case. The gentleman who was speaking to me is like, oh, you know, the best we can do is 20% off, you're outside of your warranty. And I'm like, look, I get it. I understand I'm outside of my warranty. What I am willing to do at that point is pay for the machine to be repaired. If the fact that you designed it in such a way that it can't be repaired, after less than 3 years of use, I have a problem with this and I would like to speak to somebody else. I wouldn't say I went full Karen, but there was definitely Karen light. Because look, it's like when you pay 800 bucks for something, you expect for it to not crap out after only, you know, 2.5 years, essentially. One other thing I should mention is when I was on the phone with this gentleman from the service center, I asked him, I was like, okay, so this is rendered useless. And is there a reason that happened? Like, did I do something wrong? And his response to me was, keep in mind, this is a Dyson employee at a Dyson repair service center. He said, yeah, you really can't prevent this. You should just buy the cheaper one because they crap out in the same amount of time and cost you 1/3 of the price. That is what your employee is telling me, the person in charge of seeing these things and diagnosing these issues every day. That is not the quality I expect from a Dyson machine. So after the runaround, I get passed up the chain. You have to wait on hold with the customer service representative while they talk to somebody in like a different department that can issue an override for like essentially something that's out of warranty. I sat on hold for over an hour, and every like 3 minutes they come back on the phone and they're like, we're still on hold, we're still on hold. Just like a completely inefficient system. So at this point, I've probably spent, if you count the drive time up to the Dyson Service Center, I've probably spent about 7 hours trying to fix this item. And that's not including like, you know, the time that I fiddled with it myself trying to figure out what was wrong. And that's not including the time I had to wait in, you know, for weeks in between. Like this whole thing probably spanned over a month. So we finally get to the front of the queue for someone to help figure out if there's anything else they can do for me. And in the end, they decided to offer me a refurbished PH01 free of charge. But what I had to do is send the broken device back to them. I think there's 2 things to point out here. One, I appreciate that Dyson is being eco-friendly. Like in both cases, when like the new part was shipped to me and it didn't work, they were like, please send it back. I imagine they're saying, please send this one back, so perhaps at some point they can maybe recycle some of the parts. I get it. Where I take issue is twofold. The gentleman who was not very friendly and that I had sat on the phone with for over an hour at this point, he kept telling me you can only get a 20% discount. Thank goodness I chose to stay on the line for 50 minutes and now I got a replacement product. Anyway, he said as soon as we hang up, you're gonna get a shipping label and then you have to go get the device from the Dyson Repair Service Center an hour away and take it to UPS. Because the Dyson Service Center cannot ship things back to the mothership. It has to be something that you do. I understand that there are probably like liabilities and like legalities and like I should have to send it back. What I think is a miss here is like the Dyson Service Center, which is owned, operated by Dyson. The fact that the device being there doesn't count for anything, like it has to get shipped back to the East Coast, like that feels crazy to me. You can't say like, okay, well, we've already received the device, let's just send her the new one. No, you have to spend an hour of your life driving up there to get it, send it to UPS. I digress. So the email with the shipping label never comes. I wait a few hours, nothing in my inbox, nothing in my spam, nothing I accidentally trashed. I call back, wait on hold again for another 30 minutes. And it turns out their system is not working and they can't generate a label for me. So the person on the phone gives me a code that I'm supposed to go give to UPS and they will supposedly print a label out for me and also package it for me. And at this point, like I have seen so much back and forth and so much like one hand is not talking to the other that I said to this person, I was like, I am so sorry, but what I'm concerned about is that I lug this whole thing to UPS and I get there and they can't do anything for me. Like, is there any way you can PDF the label and send it to my email. They say, no, we can't figure it out, the system's down. And I'm like, great. So I write down the number they send to me. 2 days later, I get the email automated with a shipping label. Like, okay. So I pick up my machine, I take it to UPS, I give them the shipping label, and they go, we can't package your device. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't package my device? It's this like huge, 4 foot tall, weirdly shaped cylindrical fan. It's not like I have a box laying around for that. And also, Dyson mentioned that this was something that UPS has a contract with them to do. So the woman and I go back and forth. Anyway, so we finally figure it out at UPS. I pay for the box and it has been shipped. So the warehouse in Texas has to receive the device. They then have to send some sort of communication to the refurbished department, and then they send me my new device. All of this is to say, I know the world's tiniest violin plays for me because, again, it's an $800 air humidifier that I am complaining about. The reason I'm sharing this experience is not to like be like, oh, woe is me, but it's more so I'm curious and would love to hear from you all. I've been a Dyson girl for a long time, and I had always sort of viewed them as like the creme de la creme of like vacuums, fans, hair products. And now it's kind of like those rose-colored glasses have come off. This was a pretty terrible experience, and it was very clear that like the right hand and the left hand were not speaking. And when you're paying that much money for a device, you expect there to be better troubleshooting. Maybe customer service is dead. Maybe I'm just used to like Louis Vuitton customer service where it's like something arrives with a defect and another one is there in 2 seconds. But I expect more from their products. And if this is the way that you kind of have to go about it on the back end when something breaks, I'd rather just get the cheaper one, and then I won't feel so bad when it's completely fritzed out. So anyway, thank you all for watching. If you're still with me, that was my dismal customer service experience with Dyson. If you are into luxury unboxings, more like luxury product reviews, please hit me with a like and a subscribe, and I will see you all next Monday.